Hi, my name is Tim Patry, and you're watching whatever this is. Recently, Elon Musk came out with an idea that that the Democrat and Republican Party are working together. He called it, I think, a unitary party or something. But I've been saying for ages that I think the two parties are a coalition working together, paid for by the same people. Both sides are paying everybody involved to get their work done, and it's the billionaires. Now, it's kind of weird that Elon Musk is coming along and saying he's going to create the billionaire party. It's kind of weird that Elon Musk is coming along and saying that he's going to try to counter the two-party cartel system funded by billionaires and under the control of billionaires, focus on just doing billionaire bidding. And he's a billionaire, the biggest billionaire. Of all the billionaires around, he is the billionaire. So I don't understand it. Like, we need this thing, the thing that he's proposing. We need it. We need a third party that is viable, that is real, because the two parties are, they're not one party, right? Republican Party is a steaming pile of shit, Nazi garbage, racist, idiotic stupidity. And the Democrat Party is just the alternative. It stands for nothing on its own. It's just the alternative to the Republican Party. So their insanity and stupidity and cruelty and the Republican Party is nothing. It's just not those things. So it's kind of funny. My family was getting on my case about Joe Biden for a while because they were watching Fox News, which is moronic, and they were like, "Oh, did you hear what Biden did this week?" And I'm like, "No, Biden's just an old dude, just some old white dude. He's just a guy." I mean, I can't remember one single thing that he did that was at all controversial. He created Juneteenth as a holiday. That's fine. What's wrong with that? We should all think about the stuff that Black Americans have had to go through in America. It's uncomfortable for those who wish that Black people didn't exist, but good. Let them be uncomfortable. What's wrong with that? So I don't can't think of anything that Biden actually did that mattered, that anybody cared about, as far as policy while he was president. And then Obama, and people think that Obama was the Antichrist, the worst person ever, the most vile villain that ever villain or anything like that. They think that Obama, I mean, even Trump is just obsessed with Obama. What did Obama do? Health insurance. That's not a lot of stuff. I mean, it was a big impact, but he didn't harm anybody. He didn't, that I recall, he didn't start any wars. He didn't cost anybody a bunch of money. No Americans lost their lives because of anything that he's done. So I don't see why either Biden or Obama were that big a villain on to the Republicans. The whole Democrat Party is just not crazy. That's all they are. And I think it's a coalition. I think that the Republicans and Democrats work together so that each has 50% of the vote, so that when one, side is asking for things, then the other side can stop it. You know what I mean? To keep the status quo. Like, you think billionaires want either party to be strong? You think George Soros or whoever the left leaning billionaires are want things to change? You think the right wing Republicans want things to change? I think they're losing their crap because of this nonsense right now. They wanted stagnancy. They wanted things to not change. And the people who are white Christian nationalists have made their play. They're like, "Hey, no, things do need to change. If the system is going to keep things stagnant, they're going to come in and they're going to fix it through corruption, of course. All they have is corruption, so that's what they're going to use. And it's been highly effective. And so now I guess maybe some of the billionaires don't love this. They don't love the fact um that the beautiful that is holding everything balanced is falling apart. The status quo, not necessarily any party, but the status quo has been destroying this country for years. Um, Look at the housing crisis. Look at Medicaid, Medicare. Look at um, incarceration rates and the criminal justice system. There's no justice. You can forget about justice in our justice system. Like, America has a lot of problems. Justice is one of them. Like, a lot of people out there are owed justice and they will never get it because our criminal justice system prevents justice. That's its function, to prevent justice. And if people have a right to justice, then at this point they have a right to just go right around the criminal justice system because it's an obstacle rather than an ally. It's not a tool for justice. It's 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 corruption. So there's a lot of stuff going wrong. It's all cancerous, it's all corrupt. And Republicans are right to want to burn it down. And Democrats are wrong because Bernie, he's the cure. Bernie Sanders and AOC are the cure. They, I'm not saying they're going to fix everything, they can fix everything in an instant, but they are the direction. Those kind of people are the direction that are the type of people that America needs to start having a force vector in the direction of the change we need in America to keep the middle class from fully dying and from everything to going to absolute trash, and then people who have nothing to lose kicking off some crazy things. So if America wanted to go in the right direction, they could have voted Bernie Sanders. He would have won because he does not represent the establishment. Instead, Trump won because nobody wants the establishment. We can all feel it. The establishment is killing us all. So I get it. And Bernie himself said that it was bullshit that the DNC betrayed him, undermined him, destroyed his campaign. Biden should never have been our candidate. Clinton should never have been our candidate. They can both, you know, eat a bag of dicks for all I care. They're villains in my book. It should have been Bernie. And if it's not going to be Bernie, it's just going to burn. That's the options. Bernie or burning. And we're burning. We're burning right now. So Elon Musk, the billionaire, comes along and says, "Hey, I'll save you, bros." Does he know how? I'm not sure. A long time ago, back in October of 2017, I created a video about this exact problem. I called it Practical Politics, the Solution. Whatever. Creating content is hard. Um, but I've been working on this and thinking about it forever. Here's the logo I came up with. I called it the Revolution Coalition Party because I do think we're going to need a coalition to get anything done unless we're billionaires. So I don't know what Elon Musk can get done, but if it was just the people by themselves, we'd need to create our own little parties. And similar to the Tea Party, they need to be embedded in existing Democrat and Republican parties and just primary people who are committed to the Revolution Coalition. And until there's enough people to actually change the party and vote in a you know parliamentary system so that everybody could get their party, you know, to be able to compete fairly because this two-party political system is, it's not fair. They've got a monopoly on all the power and they don't give us the option of choosing who we get to vote for. They put their thumb on the scale and, make the Democrat candidate Hillary Clinton and um, Joe Biden instead of Bernie Sanders or whoever else the people actually want. So there's no real democracy in America. Um, People complain about the uh, the electors, but the real issue is we don't get to choose who the primary candidate is. I mean, I'm sure the electors and all that is a problem. There's many voting problems because people in power want to keep their power. So, is this America Party going to work? I don't see how, because we have a guy who does a Nazi salute and is a millionaire trying to save us from, you know, the millionaire class and their existing uh, control over the Democrat Republican coalition. And again, they're not the same. Okay, so can Elon Musk be rehabilitated such that he could actually have power and, have control over a thing that people trust? I mean, he represented a left wing company. Tesla is for left wingers, people that believe in science and kindness. And then he betrayed all that to shill for, you know, evil, stupid cruelty, destruction of the federal government. How would that work? I don't know. I mean, can the guy say, "Hey, I was wrong"? Can he say, "Hey, I don't want to represent assholes anymore"? I don't know. If he just turns it into another Nazi party and then they take votes away from the existing Nazi party, that'd be fine. It wouldn't be good though. Best thing would be if it was a good thing, right? Like if it represented goodness. If he could platform a positive future for America instead of just split the Nazis. I guess we'll see. See if he says, "Hey, I did a Nazi salute, but I've talked to some folks and I realized that was stupid. Hey, Christians, obviously I'm not a Christian. I don't give a shit about the Bible or anything, as is demonstrated by everything I ever do. But you should vote for me because I'm not fully in control of this party. I'm sharing the control with others, you know, including folks who are not at all like the Christians of MAGA, right? Like the beliefs of Jesus and the Bible are kind of Democrat beliefs, if Democrats had beliefs at all. But Democrats have represented kindness and sanity, and gentleness and all the, you know, characteristics of Jesus. If you had an actual kind Christian involved in a position of power, that'd be a start. Not like in control of everything, because we need to be saying, hey, we need to stop the theocracy. Uh, Christian or all churches should be taxed because why not? Right? If people believe in an all powerful divine being that has the ability to do things in this world, then that divine being can handle a little tax, right? They're supposed to be powerful. So churches that can't handle taxation probably don't have the support of a divine, all powerful being, right? So it would weed out some of the scum, some of these churches that are just out there to make some dickhead a bunch of money. I haven't been, I love God. I haven't been to church in ages because where is God in these churches? I don't believe in a God of assholes. And the maggot God is the God of assholes, God of evil. God would probably kill the brown people that come to heaven. Like, come on. The book says that the God will say to a bunch of Christians, I never knew you. Go away. Hop in hellfire. And I never understood that until MAGA Republican Christians came along and demonstrated the opposite characteristics of the God of the Bible that I understand. I'd love to see a competition against the cartel organizations that exist right now. Republican and Democrat, they're very different from each other, but they're part of the same strategy. And I think we need something new. Elon thinks we need something new. He's right. Is he that thing? No, no, he's not that thing. Is his party that thing? Can he fund the thing we need? Maybe. I'm voting for AOC, and I only trust her. But if he can help, if he can create a thing that could theoretically lead to a better future, I'm on board. We've learned a lot in the last 9 years about who these parties are, what they represent, what they'll do for American citizens, what they won't do, what they'll pretend to do, and then leave us in the lurch. And obviously, we can't trust the Republican Party. We've watched it as it stands for white nationalism, as we watched it stand for a Christian theocracy. We've watched the Republican Party dismantle the federal government, betray every person in America that's not a billionaire. And if the billionaires think about it long enough, maybe destroying the middle class is is betrayal of the billionaires because it's a shit country if everybody hates you and wants to kill you. And that's the country they're building. Luigi is the most loved American in America. I'm pretty sure MAGA loves Luigi as much as they love Trump. And they're going to love him more as they start dying off and watching their friends and family, children and parents die due to these new changes to the legislation. The world is changing, America is changing, and the billionaires are not going to be better off in the long term in any way that I can understand. I could be wrong. I am not an expert on revolution, on economics, on politics. I'm just a guy. I don't. I can see a whole bunch of ways where this could be worse for billionaires. So obviously, the Republican Party can't save us. They've brainwashed a bunch of Christians, mobilized a bunch of racists, and they've convinced stupid people that they are the salvation. So obviously, the Republican Party is just done. Um, their most recent July 4th, 2025 betrayal, will basically bury the Republican Party in bodies. Basically, they're going to kill a whole bunch of folks, make the rest homeless. So the Republican Party is done anyways. So if Elon Musk just wants to say, "Hey, I am the new Nazi Party," he could probably transition into actually succeeding as the new evil. The white supremacists would obviously be like, "Yay!" And the dumbasses, could be convinced because of course they could. So the only question now is the Christians. Can Musk, who's obviously not a Christian, it doesn't give any shits about Christianity, can he convince the Christians to jump ship to him? If not, then he will never be viable because you can't have solely dumbasses and Nazis as the foundation for your party. You also need the Christians to round out your Republican trifecta. So if he's trying to be the new Republican Party, with the tacit agreement of all, billionaires and politicians, then I mean, I could see it. And we just need to figure out what they're going to do to try to convince gullible Christians that they should, join his party instead of the Republican Party. And obviously, they're using, identity politics to say Democrats are evil and anti Christian. And Democrat politicians are going right along with it, saying, hey, yeah, we need to alienate the Christians because we'd lose balance in the political scheme and actually get Bernie Sanders elected as president if we don't alienate the Christians from the Democrat Party. So we need both parties replaced. I think I mean as I've been speaking, I the seed of this idea that Musk is doing a sanctioned rebrand has been building in my brain. I think Musk might be doing an actual sanctioned rebrand of the Republican Party, and it's creepy as hell. Please, if you see this and you want to talk to me about this, I would love to run my Revolution Coalition Party idea by you, because I don't think the donor class, the hoarder class, the billionaire class is going to join America on this. So I think Americans, if we still even want to try to gain control of legitimate power, as is our right according to the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, um, I think we can. I think there's a way. I think my Revolution Coalition idea could could work. Otherwise, just you know, watch as things burn down. Buy a gun. Don't use a gun, but you're gonna want one if the world starts burning and police stop doing anything except protecting the billionaires, and you have to protect your family from bandits because everybody's starving. You're gonna want a gun. And if most of the nation is armed, then it'll be harder for the ruling class to use their various tools to commit violence against us. I know they're multiplying the amount of funding ICE has, modern day Nazi Gestapo. But if we arm ourselves more, if the peaceful people of America at least have a gun and have thrown a few hundred rounds downrange to practice that thing, I think it'll be a deterrent from some of the brutal excesses that are otherwise possible. So I hope you all get guns. Just have it. Have some knowledge, basic experience with the thing in a range. Stay safe. Check out my Revolution Coalition idea. The video I made ages ago, I'll post a link. But if I get any interest at all, I'll make a new video about that. Exciting times. Weird times in America. We are living through history. Possibly the end of a thing. It sucks, but it's interesting. Maybe take a picture or two. The Maybe grab some paraphernalia just so that, in 5 decades or so, some of your grandchildren might enjoy a cache of cool historical relics from an hellish age. Interesting times. Please like and subscribe. I hear that's a thing that YouTubers like. So far, I'm terrible at this. I don't think I have any subscribers yet, so that'd be nice. Please, leave a comment just so I know you exist, and I'll see you in the next one.